Good morning, good afternoon. It's
It's us.
Wednesday. It's Wednesday, August 7th. Kurt Cruz with Kurt
I'm
and
aware of that. Thank you, Jen Pierre. Kurt and Jen in the morning, our podcast. Thanks for joining us. As always, we ask and hope, and if you wouldn't mind liking the podcast or following the podcast or subscribing, which is free, we'd love to have that happen. So thank you in advance for that.
Here's why I called out August 7th specifically, because today happens to be supposedly the most dangerous day to drive.
All right.
So I'm just saying, be careful out there.
Why is it the most dangerous way to drive? Oh, here's some information. There's no explanation why a random Wednesday in August is so dangerous, but it's based on data from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. And they also did a poll that found 6 in 10 drivers feel like the roads are more dangerous than they were 5 years ago. But
I'm just,
particularly for some reason on this day, August 7th.
we try to help you, Kurt and I, so we're just putting that out there. Just if you're going to get in your car today, please be careful. I
Keep
mean,
an eye
be
out for
careful
the
every
other
day.
person. Yeah, this is the day.
Yeah.
Um, Yesterday was a big day here in the Cruz household, and everybody's going to say, "Well, why is that?" And then they're going to be disappointed because the
Because you
reason
got on
is
your boat? Is that why?
not yesterday. It was a work day. My employed wife had to go to her job. But no, we have the Kraken season tickets, and when we first got them, we decided, well, we're going to split these up among some other people because it's expensive. So yesterday was the day that we all got together on a Zoom call and we all picked our individual games for next season.
Okay.
As to what Kraken games who's going to go to. And for some reason with me, it's like as I'm picking the games, it's in my head. I'm like, oh, that's going to be great. I'm seeing, like visions in my head of the two teams playing and the different players and different teams. So for whatever reason, it's I get a kick out of it picking out our games.
Here's
So
my question for you, Kurt. Is there
mm.
any game that you were hoping that you'd get to go see that you did not get?
No, not this year. I mean, I wanted to see the Red Wings game, and one of our other people picked a Red Wings game, and that's fine. So there's no, the games that we like to see are with our close rivals like Las Vegas and the Golden Knights, and also the Avalanche, the Colorado Avalanche, and maybe going up to Vancouver. They have hockey in Canada, it turns out as well. Maybe you didn't know
Oh, so
that.
you're gonna go take your lovely wife Dana up there and see a
We might go see, yeah, technically an away game to see the
okay,
Canucks.
nice.
But yeah, it was Kraken pick day yesterday, and we had
Tick
fun with
pick
that. So
day.
I
Tick
like it.
pick no. Yeah, tick
Yeah,
pick
pick
day. Yeah.
day.
You're picking
You
your tickets. I
yesterday was a big day for you too. So or
it
with your
was.
daughter.
I took Macy, my youngest daughter, to her first day at her first job ever. She is went to train at Russell's Restaurant in Bothell,
Bothell.
Washington.
Hmm.
When I talked to her last night, because it was a night with her dad, but I
Hmm.
took her to work. And of course, I got a picture, which she hated. But I'm like, listen, it's like the first day of school. Just get in front of the Russell sign. Let me take a quick picture and have a nice smile on your face.
Did
So
she
I took
manage that?
she did. She didn't love
Okay.
it, but she did. But when I talked to her last night after her shift was over, I think that, Macy's not used to working at all because she's never had a job, right? So I think it was like a reality check for her. Like, crap, I'm tired. That was a lot of work. I'm like, did you like it? She's like, nah. I'm like, okay. Here's the thing. She thinks she wants to go into the restaurant business or own a bakery or something like that. And so I'm like, get a job that is going to give you some exposure to that industry to see if you like it. Like that's how
Yep.
I figured out what I wanted to do is I did internships and different jobs and look where I landed, unemployed.
Stop. After what they call an illustrious career, admit
Anyway,
it. All
we'll
right.
see what happens with that. I mean, it's a they want her to work during the school year, but she also does sports and she needs to, school's number one. So we'll see. Anyway,
What you
yeah,
might want to tell her if she's going to own a bakery, that means waking up at like 2 in the morning, just like doing a morning show.
and
So
she
that
hates mornings, so that's going to be interesting. Kurt, this came up at my in my little trip to Roosevelt, Lake Roosevelt this past weekend.
okay.
Someone was talking about how they went back, they were camping, and then they went back to their trailer or whatever, and there was a sock on the door handle of the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's weird. Okay, what was that? And they're like, are you kidding? You don't even know, you don't know what that means? I'm like, no. Do you know
It
what
means
that
that
means?
they need to do laundry because the sock is dirty.
Well, that's where my head went.
That's not what it means.
It
It
means
means
if the
if the house is rocking, don't bother knocking. That's what it means. Right.
it means someone's not getting their socks knocked off of them.
Could be, yeah.
So
So
it's
you were
basically a do not disturb sign.
well, you remember you were talking about having some kind of a code word so you and Pat could get away from everybody and go be romantical and stuff like that. And you're like,
Yeah,
what? We should have a code where you said, like, let's make it like, hey, I got to go wash the lettuce or something like that. That was going to
yeah.
be, some sort of sneaky phrase. I think this is along the same lines. It's not as obvious as a sign. You could actually write on, you know, lined paper, do not come in, getting it on. But that's pretty obvious. So I think the sock in the door handle means give us a half hour, or in
It
my case,
does.
5
That is
minutes.
exactly what it means. And I learned something new that I should have known well before right now.
Yeah, well, you
Uh,
did not leave. You did not have that sheltered of a life, but I could see how if that had never come up before, you're like, I don't know. Well, it's just like the red light in the window or whatever. It was yeah,
is a what?
Roxanne. You don't have to put on the red light. No,
Is it
it's
prostitution?
well, it's another thing I think people do to say, give us a minute. You know.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway, now you know too, in case you didn't. You're along with me and we are learning together. You're welcome.
All
Okay.
right.
Quick update on the Olympics, just because it's like all the headline news.
Mm-hmm.
US
And we're
finally
into the
took
second week, so we've got
less
when's
than a
the
week.
final thing is on Sunday?
Well, the closing ceremonies are on Sunday,
Right.
and the big headline is that Team USA finally took the lead in gold medals. We surpassed
Yes.
China.
Yeah, that was we for a long time, and we still are leading in the overall medal count, right? We have been for the I think for the most of the Olympics so far, but we were trailing in the gold medal count behind China. And so what is our total? Yesterday we entered tied with China at 21 golds. But China got one more gold yesterday, and we got like 3 or 4, right?
Yeah, the
Boxing.
women's wrestling, snake gold, two more in track and field.
Okay, those were bronze and silvers, but we won that. Cole Hawker won the 15 meter men's race, which is a really cool, come from behind type of victory again. And Gabby Thomas won the women's 200 meters. So I guess that puts us one ahead of
Yeah,
China in the.
that's why I said that we won golds in track and field. We did
Oh,
win.
sorry.
Yeah, we
So I was
did.
looking at the women's hammer throw, which I didn't remember what that was called. And I'm like, man, you spin around in a circle, zing, 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 and you throw that thing. Have you ever seen the hammer throw?
No, but I've seen Thor, the movie. So if I've been
Well,
exposed.
Thor just throws it. He doesn't have to like wind up and do like 5 or 6 spins to throw his
He just
hammer.
does a
But
little toss and it goes very far.
yeah, he's like,
What's what's the deal with Snoop Dogg making $500,000 at the a day at the Olympics?
right. And I guess by standards of, hey, you've got a major, star here is one of your reporters. Maybe that seems pretty high. So yeah, Snoop Dogg is going to be pocketing for the entire time in Paris, including his bonuses, $15 million, which that comes down to $500,000 a day, 500,000 a day as an NBC correspondent.
I not. I mean, I haven't watched any Olympics, so I guess that's maybe why I haven't seen him. I've watched some Olympics, and he's been at those games. Like I thought he was just there for fun. That's how naive I am. I
Well,
didn't
no, he is
think he'd
there
be a
for, and
correspondent.
that's the thing is that he appears to just be having the time of his life, but he does sit down after the events with the other correspondents and he's like, but I wonder if I was a regular NBC correspondent who's not getting $500,000 a day. And they're like, well, it's just your regular job. You're just in Paris now.
And Snoop
Um,
isn't even a commentator normally. So
nor
now
was he wasn't even an athlete, as far as I know. I mean, I think he plays basketball, but not professionally. So, but the fun thing is that I think he really has been making it fun to watch. I think people are like, oh, there's Snoop. So I don't know if that's worth $500,000 a day, but
uh here's what I'm gonna go back and watch for real. If he's being a commentator, I'd like to hear what he says about the guy on that high jump pole vault thingy that snagged his crotch on the bar.
well, he bumped the bar with his manhood, with his cup.
Yeah, but imagine what Snoop would have said about that, how that would have gone down.
It's, if he probably has commented on it in a very Snoop way. So
That's why I want to go find it.
look that.
Okay.
We'll see if we can post it. Uh,
Anyway,
now, coming up on I think Friday and Saturday, we're finally going to get to see one of the new sports. I use that loosely for the Olympics this year is the breakdancing or the breakers, right?
we've been
And
talking about that. Yeah.
well, I think it's it doesn't breakdancing is so associated with in right or wrong, in my opinion. It's just associated with cheesy things from the 80s. You know what I mean? Just like and you think of Vanilla Ice or whatever the case may be and whatnot. But it obviously is a very athletic and physical activity. And so now they're making it an Olympic sport. And the question was, well, how do breakers train for the Olympics? Evidently, it is all about strength, mobility, and their core. And I just love they asked, this breaker by the name, he goes by B-Boy Victor. Okay.
I like
B-Boy
it. So
Victor.
is he going to be at is he a guy at the Olympics?
Evidently, yes.
Okay.
He is a guy at the Olympics, B-Boy Victor. In a sport that requires balance, twists, suspensions, freezes, and holds, moves that have names like windmills and head spins. They're saying the core, the center of the human body, is the engine. So this guy, B-Boy Victor, says, I just do a bunch of random core workouts, a lot of crunches and toe touches. But I love this line. This to me is like the perfect image of a breakdancer. He's like, there's also other core workouts that I don't know the name of, but I just do them. My coach gives them to me, and I'm like, okay, that sounds hard. I'll try that. I don't know the name of it, but that thing where you put your leg behind. Yeah. So anyway, that's if you want to be a breaker in the Olympics, get on your strength, mobility, and core work right now.
Maybe that's where I'm going wrong. When someone gives me something hard to do for a workout, I'm like, yeah, that looks too hard. I'm not going to do that. I need to take a page from B-Boy, whatever.
Victor, not only do I not know the name of it, I'm not going to do it. All right, completely worlds away from that.
Yeah, let's do a sharp turn because yesterday we talked about doggy perfume from Dolce and Gabbana.
This time we're going to talk about Auntie Anne's. And let me start by saying that there are locations of Auntie Anne's pretzels, and a lot of times in malls. They've got them in locations Seattle, Tacoma. We got them in Bellevue around here, among others, Auburn, Linwood. If you love Auntie Anne's pretzels, they are launching their very own signature fragrance called Need, Knead, like what you do with bread, right? Need to celebrate how vital it is, and also, well, to celebrate bread dough, I guess.
I mean, I don't want anyone I'm around smelling like Auntie Anne's pretzels unless they can provide an actual pretzel to me.
I see. It's the power of suggestion, right? That my nose tells me I should have a pretzel right now.
Right? Am I not right on this? Like, if someone's gonna smell like Auntie Anne's pretzels, you better have some on hand to pass out.
Okay, I agree. I don't know if there's any right or wrong here. What they're saying at Auntie Anne's is smell is a special and powerful sense. Auntie Anne fans have shared their memories and experiences that began with just a whiff of our pretzels. And we've bottled that moment. Oh, de pretzel.
Okay.
No? You don't want to smell like Auntie Anne's?
I'm not on board with that. But I do want to know more about a theater full of Ryans who watched Deadpool and Wolverine together. Can you tell me about that? A Ryan rodeo? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Well, Deadpool and Wolverine, of course, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman starring in that, who are really good friends in regular life. And actually, they sort of crack on each other a lot, which is fun. Their friendship leads to a lot of these viral moments where they're at each other, they can't stand each other, but of course they're very good friends.
This is pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, now you read it. There's a while ago there was an event in Texas and they called this a Ryan meetup. I don't think this has anything to do with Ryan Reynolds. They called it a Ryan meetup called the Ryan Rodeo. Only people named Ryan were invited, and their slogan was "No Bryans allowed." If you're a Brian, you can't come to the Ryan Rodeo.
Okay.
So they had this, I think it was earlier this year. And now they're back in the news. They rented out a movie theater in New York to watch the new Ryan Reynolds movie, Deadpool and Wolverine. Only Ryans in the theater.
Is it
except
really?
For one.
Yeah, I was going to say, except for one guy named Hugh, as a nod to Hugh Jackman.
Right. But they didn't I guess they didn't say his name was Hugh until at one point they said, okay, we have a confession. There is somebody here who's not a Ryan. And I'm sure they were like, boo. And he's like, but he is a Hugh. I'm like, okay,
That'll be
Hugh can
okay
be
for this
here
movie, for this event, for this movie. It's okay.
for the
Kurt,
Ryan meetup.
when you told me that McDonald's is bringing back their collectible cups,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, tell me more because that brings me back to my childhood.
I still have, I don't know how it managed all the moves and everything. So it must have been when I was, I'm going to say 11 years old. They had Peanuts character glasses you could get at McDonald's. I
Yeah.
still have one of those
You do?
somewhere. Well, yes, in my head I do, and I don't think we've lost it. But that was a big deal back then. They had these collectible cups,
In
and so
my head.
McDonald's is trying to tap into the nostalgia with new collectible cup designs. I don't know if they're glass or not. That's maybe that was an issue over the years. It's
There's
like
no
glass
way that
breaks and
there is. There's no way because I mean, the fact that they got away. Do you remember like all that was all the rage with the restaurants? Like Arby's had their holiday collection
yep.
glasses and
Hmm.
McDonald's had theirs. And that's what makes them great is they're actual glass and not plastic. But I bet $1 million that these are plastic. There's no way they're
Okay, I'll
giving
take
out
that bet.
glass.
But if I lose, I don't owe you anything. Um, it's yeah. So like you just said, you have memories from when you were younger of those glasses, and it is bringing put a smile on your face and bringing back good memories. If you want to get these collectible cups, is what they're saying. So they I guess
They're
they're not glass.
cups.
They would call
They're
them
cups,
glasses.
not glasses. Darn it.
Collectible cups. They have several designs. They have a Coca-Cola design. They have Hello Kitty and Peanuts designs. One of them is a Beanie Babies collectible. Would you get the Barbie and Hot Wheels one? Is that what you'd be after, Jen?
No,
You're
you know
getting
what I'd
all of them.
actually get? They also have Shrek, Jurassic Park, and Minions
Mm-hmm.
versions. I think I would want the Coca-Cola version or the McDonald's version because they
Mm-hmm.
have those two as well.
We should find the picture we can put up with it so people can see what they look like. But there you go. If you're missing the collectible cups from your younger days, and I guess you'd have to be at this point, maybe in your 40s to remember that. It's been a long time since they did collectible glasses, right?
Yeah, it has been
Okay.
a long time.
But either way, I think it's kind of cool that they're bringing it back.
Here's what I think is interesting. I was thinking that when you said Hello Kitty and Peanuts, like
Hmm.
Hello Kitty would be one and Peanuts would be one, but I think
Right.
that they're combined because there's only 6 designs.
I think you're right. Yeah. Okay. So it is Hello Kitty and Peanuts is
That's
one.
weird.
Barbie and Hot Wheels is one. And then that one you said Shrek, Jurassic Park, and Minions is one cup.
Okay, well,
No, you missed that. Did they just yuck your yum?
no, I just think it's weird that you're putting Hello Kitty and Peanuts together. Now, this is going to sound weird, but I probably would have put Barbie and Hello Kitty together.
I have nothing to offer other than I imagine that their research people were like, there's a reason for
Okay.
Hello Kitty
Yes,
and
you're right.
Peanuts. I don't know.
What we can't tell you is when these are in stores. I'm sorry about that, but I'm sure it's soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Enjoy.
I want to pass some. I really believe this is information you can use because I follow this person on TikTok. It's called Creative Explained. He has
Hmm.
7.6 million followers on Instagram, right?
Okay. That's a good number.
He's
We'll get
pretty
there someday
brilliant and
too.
he gives you stuff that you can actually use. So when I saw this little video on Instagram the other day, I'm like, holy crap. And I just didn't say crap. I said the other word because I was doing everything on this list wrong. So
Hmm.
here, this is how to store food.
That's the
Onions,
list. And from Creative Explain, this is, yeah. So he's how to store your food is what you got caught up in.
yes.
All right.
That's my coffee machine going off if you hear that weird
I,
noise. Onions, garlic, and shallots. Those all need to be kept outside of your refrigerator in a dry, cool place.
hmm.
Well,
And I
right now
believe
in my
that's what
refrigerator are shallots and onions.
I think Dana keeps that stuff. I think she does keep it outside the fridge because it takes up space in the counter. So I think that she knows that one, but I didn't know about potatoes.
You never put potatoes in the fridge because it'll turn the starch into sugar, and instead you put them in a cool, very dry, dark place. So, like in his video, he put all the potatoes in a big bowl and covered them with a towel, and then put
Hmm.
them on. I think he might have put them on the counter or in a pantry.
Okay.
Scallions and asparagus, you put a little bit of water in a cup, put them in a cup, loosely place a plastic bag over it, and then put them in the fridge. This is ways to store them so they'll last longer. That's the key. I mean, you can store them really however you want, but if you want
Right.
them to last longer, and this whole thing is we're trying to save the earth, right? And not waste so much food. Fresh herbs, wrap them in a wet paper towel, put them in a Ziploc bag, seal them, and put them in the fridge. Ginger and lemons, they can be kept in the fridge. Pears, apples, and kiwis. Pears, apples, and kiwis, keep them all separate from other fruits because they leak this gas called ethylene and it will ripen anything around them. What?
I had no idea.
Cucumbers, you're not supposed to put cucumbers in the fridge because if you do, they'll be mushy within 3 days. You put them in a plastic like Ziploc, poke holes in them, and place them in a cool place in the kitchen. Tomatoes,
Okay.
kitchen counter, don't put them in the fridge. Lettuce, wrap it in foil, store it in the fridge. It'll keep fresh for up to 30 days. I'm going to try that.
I don't know. 30 days.
Bananas, wrap the top with like saran or plastic wrap just a little bit and keep them in their own separate spot, like in a bowl. Don't put them with like other stuff. There
We have
you go.
bananas in a bowl. So you wrap saran wrap around the handle. What is that called?
Yeah, like the stem, I guess.
Stem.
Yeah.
I like handle, but okay, the stem.
Anyway, I just thought it was interesting because I'm watching this on like cucumbers are in my fridge, tomatoes are in my fridge,
Were
my
you keeping
apples.
track and going, oh, wrong, wrong. I'm doing it
Yes.
wrong. This one too,
So,
wrong.
Anyway, a little news you can use if you will.
Perfect. Yeah. What about right away when we talked about this next topic? You were like, not me. Nope. So maybe you've changed after having 15 minutes to think about it, but there are going to be in the very near future, you go to your dentist, right? You go to your dentist for maybe a cleaning or something like that or something more, and you're going to be worked on by a robot dentist.
No. No.
This is an AI company called Perceptive, and they pulled off the first fully automated dental procedure. There's a robotic arm controlled by AI, and it shaved down a guy's tooth for a crown.
Here's the thing, Curt. First, at the first headline, I was like, I'm not letting a robot work on my teeth. And then I was like, there's no way what it said. It clamps onto your jaw. The robot clamps onto your jaw. No. Like,
And then a drill comes in and it circles to grind your tooth down. I would think with robotics, it'd be way more precise and less likely, than your human dentist to accidentally, hit a nerve or something like that. Well, you're just thinking about it and getting all creeped out. I know it's dentistry. But the claim is, like what I just said, it enhances precision and efficiency compared to human dentists and also an improved patient experience. I don't know about that. An improved patient experience. Oh, I know what they're saying. By the efficiency and the speed. Getting a crown normally requires 2 visits to your dentist at an hour each. But they're saying this robot will be able to do an entire crown procedure in just about 15 minutes. So that's good.
okay.
You're still not sold.
Well, do you have anything else for me? Like, I don't know. They recently raised $30 million in funding this company. And one of the investors is Dr. Edward Zuckerberg, who is a dentist and also Mark Zuckerberg's dad.
Do you think he had to go and borrow money from his son? He's like, hey, buddy. Hey, kid.
Yeah, I'm going to go yes. Because I don't, if he's a dentist making $30 million, what?
No, the whole thing raised $30 million. He didn't have it himself.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know. Yeah. They raised that much in funding, but you know what? It's going to be a while yet. They've still about 5 years away from 5 years away from FDA approval. But the plan is eventually to have them at dental offices all over the country. So you've still got a good 4+ years left, at least, Jen, of going to your regular old dentist twice a year and flossing every day, right? Like you do. And that's not a joke. You're a flosser.
I floss every single night. Every single night.
I floss 100% of the time when it's the day before a dental appointment.
Do your gums bleed like crazy?
Yes. If it's every 6 months, I do 6 months worth of flossing in one night.
No, I take good care of these. My mom said I'm putting a lot of money into these things. You take care of them for the rest of your life. Dental work's expensive.
Speaking of expensive.
Yeah, you made a mistake yesterday. What's the deal?
I made a mistake yesterday, well, here's the deal. It's been a stressful week if you own stocks, and so I have learned over time that I mean, I think everybody knows that things go up and down. Your 401k goes up and down. The market goes up and down. And you're supposed to be in it for the long term. And so when they had that information released, oh, there was a massive drop in the NASDAQ, 1,200 point, whatever. I'm like, I'm not going to check. I'm not going to check. I'm not going to go check my portfolio. I'm not going to look at it because I'll just get disappointed and scared.
You looked at it.
I did.
Why?
I don't know. Anyway, so I was like, oh crap, that's a lot. So it is down, but it always comes back up. It comes back up, so I'm not that concerned about it. But I should not have looked. And the study that I saw, what spawned this whole thing was there's a study that finds big swings in the stock market can kill you. Dun dun dun.
Oh, don't die, Curt.
I'm not going to die, but you know what? It hasn't killed me yet. This is the researchers looked at data from 2013 to 2019, and they found on days when the market saw like a steep drop, there were far more deaths from cardiovascular events like heart attacks and strokes. So they put, two and two together and like, hey, maybe one is somehow responsible for the other. They said a 1% drop in the market was linked to roughly a 1% rise in cardiovascular events and deaths. So I think that maybe for me at least, I just need to not look at it ever. As soon as I see the news saying, here's NASDAQ, like, nope, change the channel.
You know what? I was going to go look at my retirement 401k and I didn't because I know that I would be absolutely crushed.
Yeah, it'll pop back. But in the meantime, there is some good news about this, by the way. I don't know if this is good news.
What is it?
The study also found that there were more heart attacks and strokes on days that the market saw big gains.
Hell. Okay, we're moving
Let's get
on.
Excited.
I'm moving on to roadkill.
Wow. All right.
Are you ready for this?
I think I am because you're very passionate about this.
Well, I know I'm not. I am passionate because I think it's gross.
It is gross. You want me to start or you?
6% of Americans, which, okay, that doesn't seem like a lot, but still 6% enjoy eating roadkill. So let's just start there.
If it was, yeah. So basically, if you're around 20 people, one of those people, yeah, it's okay to eat roadkill.
Not only is it okay, they enjoy it.
Oh, they've actually dined on. I'm sorry,
dined on.
Yeah, that's 1 in 20 people have actually dined on roadkill.
So
again. Why do they do these polls and studies? I don't know.
Because they want to know interesting things about people. They didn't ask how regularly it happens. So anyway, almost 90% of people said they will never do that. They will never dine on roadkill. I am one of those 90% for sure.
The survey also found that about a third of people say they're okay with people collecting roadkill for personal use. That's just funny to say. They're okay with people collecting roadkill for personal use. Well, another 30%, another 1/3, think that it should be illegal. So in case you're thinking about going out, if you're local, and by local, I mean if you're in Washington State like we are, there's some information you should have.
I just want you to know that Washington State residents can eat roadkill, deer, and elk if they obtain a free printable salvage permit from the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife within 24 hours of taking possession of the animal. So there you go.
In 24 hours of taking possession of the meal.
This is a very educational show, by the way. I really feel like, we were going to keep your fruits and vegetables longer. And you know what? Free meat on the road. Just get your permit. And
honestly, for me, it would be, it seems like it's unfortunately a waste if a poor animal, a deer gets killed and you're sad, but at least if somehow it seems like if that's being put to use, then they didn't maybe die in vain somehow. But I would think that if you unfortunately hit something and it dies, and then you decide, okay, we're going to keep this and we're going to make it into venison or whatever. I guess that's one thing. If you find roadkill and you don't know how long it's been there, that's what I think is gross. You come along the side of the road and there's some flies flying around.
No, that's not safe. I think it's really more about, if we're being serious about this, which we should be, in case people are interested. I think that if you hit a deer or an elk, that you are allowed legally, to use that as meat to eat.
Okay.
But you have to get a permit. And you know what? Here's the thing. If I really think about this, why wouldn't you? I mean, people hunt for it. If it's accidental and you know how to I mean, I don't know. There's a lot that goes around that for sure. But if it's dead, I don't know.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
it's not
guess.
for Jen Pirak. And it's not for me either, I don't think. And
Okay.
of course, you're going to be pissed because your car is messed up as well. No matter what, your car is damaged.
There's that too. So Curt, you messed up yesterday with the whole looking at your stocks. I messed up yesterday because I forgot to post something online that I said I would post yesterday. And I want to
Oh,
publicly apologize for not doing that, but I'm going to today. In fact, I'm going to add it to my already very long to-do list. Post,
mm.
post on Facebook. And here's what I'm going to post because
Can I see your to-do list again?
what?
Can we see your to-do list again?
No, you
It's on
cannot.
a pink. Here's my to-do list, by the way.
0 things. No, I have many
It's a
things I
blank
need
sheet
to
of
do.
paper.
I have too many things that I need to figure out how I'm going to get through them all.
So,
I yesterday we were talking about how Pat has 2 sons who are handsome and kind, and they're in their mid 20s, and
mhm.
they cannot find a good partner, and they've been online and get ghosted and all these things, and it's ridiculous. My friend Cher has 2 sons, same thing, handsome, kind, thoughtful. They're all the things. I'm like, all of these 4 guys would make great boyfriends.
Mhm.
And yet
And
they
that
cannot find a quality partner.
and as we've mentioned, I think before, you're never far from somebody who said, "Oh, here's how you meet people." It's like, well, maybe, maybe not. But what we were looking for is for you to share your stories on how did you meet your significant other, because we know that there's, fun, unusual, different stories. And a lot of people, yeah, you met on like eHarmony, or you met, on some sort of dating app. But we want to know, how did you meet your significant other? And if it's a little bit different or a little bit, you know, unusual, perhaps that'll help people that are like, oh, I never thought about that.
I mean, we just tell them to keep putting themselves out there, right? Put yourself out there. Because if you're going to
Right.
stay at home, yes, do the online thing because that's a way to meet people too, but also go out.
Well, and what I would get was, and this is frustrating when you're single, is listen, when you least expect it, it's going to happen. I'm like, well, I least expect it right now. Okay. I've been least expecting it for, a year and a half or whatever. And yeah, back in those days, we had unusual hours. I think I was still doing the afternoon show. So I was busy, every weeknight, until like 8 o'clock, which makes it hard to go to happy hours and stuff like that. But yeah, it will happen unless you stay inside, locked up the entire time. So get out there. But please share. Again,
Yeah.
how are we phrasing this? How did you meet your significant other?
I guess we're just trying to get some ideas. And if you have advice on what to tell people, I'm thinking, Curt, maybe we should throw a big singles party. Because here's the thing, everybody knows somebody that's single, at least
Hmm.
one person. Like I have a handful of people that I could easily invite right off the top. It's just
Okay.
that for my circle, they're not the right age groups to match people up.
Got it. Well, I kind of think it might be odd. A couple of people, one who's married and one who's in a serious long-term relationship, saying, "We're going to have a singles party for you people." Wouldn't that be like salt in the wound when they show up and I've got my wedding ring on and you're
No,
there
but
with
maybe we
Pat?
host it and maybe people that are single can only show up to it.
Okay.
Or we have a red light, green light kind of name tag where I'm taken, I'm not. But anyway, okay,
You just like hosting things. Admit it. You just want to have a party.
let's have a party. Let's have a single party and get connections for love. All
There
right.
you go.
That is all. We hope you have a
Mhm.
great day. Do you have anything else, Curt?
Just put your comments below, or whatever you're watching this or listening to this on. Leave your comments on how you met your significant other. Thank you very much in advance.
Make good choices, find joy, and spread kindness. Thanks again for listening.